Hey, welcome back to another episode of Modern Streams. And today I have Stella here with me. Stella is one of the very first musicians I discovered on TikTok, and I was immediately hooked by her authenticity and talent. She's been an inspiration for many of the content ideas and branding framework I've shared with artists over the years. Her songs are some of my most played, and we even collaborated on a song together. Stella has got a new music project coming in 2026. So today we were talking branding, TikTok, and release strategy. Everything you need to know. Stella, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Finch. It's so wonderful to be here, and it's been so wonderful to work with you and learn and grow together. And I'm very excited to learn more today.
I'm also very excited. I will also tell our listeners that this is the second time that I'm saying this intro because we had some connection issues in the beginning. So, first time I asked you about your story, how you became a musician, and you shared a very inspiring story on how you started. You started at university, and would you like to share this story briefly again?
Yeah, sure. I would be happy to. And I'm glad I have a second chance so I can perhaps say it a little bit better than I did the first time. So, music for me has always had a special place in my heart. Growing up as a kid, my mom and I would sing karaoke together. It's a very special part of Filipino culture, singing with your friends and your family. And I continued having that passion for singing. Throughout my life. And it wasn't until university that I started considering sharing my music. I was not studying music, but I met a friend and his name is Brian, BR14N on Spotify. And he introduced me to music production and recording, and we wrote a song together, and we uploaded our first song to Spotify, and ever since then I've been hooked and loved making music.
And if you listen to her music, you will feel the love and the passion that she gives to her songs. And you are one of the best songwriters I know as well. And basically, your songs and your lyrics, they represent your brand, which I will talk about in a bit. This episode is going to be a lot about branding just because, as I said, Stella is one of I would call her the queen of branding because her TikToks are on point. So I want to start with a first question about branding. I have here a list of questions. I hope I will go through all of them. The first question I really want to know and I really want to share with our audience is you've always had such a strong, authentic presence online. How did you figure out your brand as an artist?
Thank you for this question. And I just wanted to preface that I started off with the name Cheese and Crackers, and that was how my branding journey started. And it really was about sharing my emotions and sharing my story with the audience. The song that really solidified my brand was called Weird Kid. And that was about my experience feeling out of place as a kid and feeling a little weird. And really, the way that I promoted it was posting TikToks, sharing about my experiences growing up, and then playing the song in the background. And whenever people came across these TikToks, they'd read my story and either, and it usually would be very like self-deprecating stories. Like it'd be like funny, weird stories as a kid. But a lot of people related to that because they also experienced similar things. And they saw themselves through that story. So once that they had that connection and, that emotional connection, they would look at the song and be like, "Oh, I actually really connect to this song as well," because they went through similar experiences. So it was really about, being vulnerable online, which can be scary. It's important to find a fine line between, sharing yourself and not oversharing things that you might not be willing to share. But through that vulnerability, that was what got people to open up to me as an artist as well.
Did you know from the very beginning that that would be your superpower, vulnerability?
No, I really didn't. And the thing is, my original direction with my music was just making like really fun, happy songs. But it was quite the opposite. It was a lot of sad, angsty
Mhm.
songs. But because of that vulnerability, people were able to really relate to what I was sharing.
And do you feel like it came basically from TikTok, right? Because that's where you connected with your audience.
Yes, yes. TikTok was the place where, I met so many wonderful people and got to connect with them.
Do you feel like every musician can use vulnerability as something that will help them connect with their audience? It's probably because, okay, we didn't mention the type of music that you make. What's the genre of Cheese and Crackers?
I would say the genre of Cheese and Crackers would was singer-songwriter and indie pop. Um, and I think that vulnerability definitely can be used, but it's very important how you use it. I know like some people, their strategy might be, oh, I'm going to tell like a really, really sad story so people feel bad for me, and then listen to my music.
Hmm.
And I think, like being vulnerable in that way, it depends on your situation, but if that's your whole identity, I think that you might be exhausting your audience emotionally because like all they'll think about like when they see you is like, oh, I feel bad for them, I pity them.
Hmm.
Versus showing your emotional vulnerability through a song or a story or something that happened to you specifically. Because when people engage with that story, that sparks their curiosity and also um, can form that connection of, oh, I'm not alone. I understand how you're feeling. I went through something similar.
Right.
So it's important that you're using your vulnerability as a way for connection, not for like pity.
Right. Because every person has a story. So they don't have to be as okay, so this word vulnerable, I said it wrong a few times. I'm trying to say it in my mind. Vulnerable.
Hmm.
It's not
Yeah,
easy to
that's
say
great.
fast. Vulnerable. So
Yeah.
vulnerable people. Everyone can be vulnerable a bit. Like everyone has a story.
Hmm.
You were extremely vulnerable with your music. And I guess because yesterday I had a call with a client who was saying that he was making country music. And when we were talking about branding, he said that he doesn't feel like he can be vulnerable and that wouldn't work for him. So I do feel like with branding is that every musician can be vulnerable and they can share their own stories because we all have stories, right? I guess
Hmm.
every musician can find a way to share their story on TikTok and the way you did it, which wasn't too like some of your best videos were you in the background with text on the screen. And maybe do you want to share a bit about the best videos you created and how much impact they gave you?
Yeah, well, it's kind of difficult. Like the best video is kind of subjective, I would say, because there's some videos that went really, really viral, but they actually did not make a significant impact on like the listeners that I was getting. It was more just I get followers and a few comments, but those people would actually like, fall off and never really engage with my content again. But there's some videos where it might not have been viral in the traditional sense of like, getting like 500,000 views or 1 million views, but the amount of like conversation and dialogue in the comments was so amazing that to see people engaging and sharing their vulnerability and their stories. And those videos were the ones I would say that were the most successful in connecting people with the music.
So it wasn't the viral videos.
No, I would say like with the viral video. So There's a few viral videos I can think of. There was one that I made about how I wanted to find like all the soft girlies that love little hobbies and all that sort of stuff. And that got like 500,000 views. And the thing is, I used a trending sound. I had this text. And so it did attract, people with similar interests. But I had a lot of trouble connecting, like getting the people to listen to my song. Cause like,
Mhm.
how annoying is it when like you see this fun little post, like, oh, he like soft girlies. And then it like you comment like, oh, this is so me. And then in the comments, somebody's like, you should listen to my song about soft girlies. It's really good. Like nobody wants to like follow through with that because they're not looking for music. They're just looking for like relatable, quirky things. um,
Yeah.
so like maybe like you get a couple like 100 streams maybe or like maybe like 25 new listeners, but like I would say that was not carried over very well. Um, Another viral video that did quite well was a duet for the song called Dirt Man. So there was a creator on TikTok who had a song called Dirt Man and encouraged people to make a duet with their own verse. And the first duet that I did got like about 500,000 views. And it performed really well and people really liked it. And I did get a lot of followers and followers that were like I would say pretty committed, but it was a select few. The thing, and I thought, oh, okay, I have a viral video that's related to music. Maybe people will want to check out my music.
Yeah.
But no, they didn't want to check out my music. That made them want to check out the Dirt Man song.
Yeah.
So I was just doing free promotion for another artist and not getting anything back really other than the fans that were interested in me after they saw that video. That was wonderful to be connected to those people. But from what I've seen, viral videos, unless it is specifically your original song, does not attract that much carryover to the streams and like listeners.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's something I saw a lot on TikTok, which is also why I'm not a big fan of TikTok. I do feel like basically when you post on TikTok, you work for them. I mean, you do it in every platform, but you work for them, you help them get money, but you don't get anything in return. And they try to kind of give you the boost of views. Unlike Instagram, I feel like on TikTok, you can blow up your first video. And many times they do it because they want to keep you posting on the platform for free and make you feel like you're making progress. So on Instagram, you do need to post a lot before you blow up. But I do feel like these kind of videos, what you just described, it's way easier to build a community around them and you can then DM people. And even more than that, I will share an advanced strategy now, but if you use a platform called ManyChat, so every time someone comments on your post or every time someone follows you, it's going to send them automatically a message on Instagram. So let's say
Oh,
someone just saw your video, you just said you did a duet for that guy, and basically people saw that and they would follow you because probably you got a lot of followers from that video. But on Instagram you can DM them automatically and then they get a message and you can tell them, oh, I saw that you liked my video, or I saw that you just followed me. Would you like to listen to my music? Or even you can do something more complex, like, oh, would you like to get a snippet of my new song? And then you can send a voice memo, basically, and it's also going to be automated. So on Instagram, it's way better to build a community and connect with people. And that's something that a lot of musicians are missing. And basically, I highly recommend musicians trying to grow on Instagram and not on TikTok, or just trying to do the same, trying to create the same content and posting the content on both platforms, but
okay.
maybe trying to get followers on TikTok to follow you on Instagram,
Yeah, yeah.
telling them that you have an Instagram. And that's something that I also did when I started on TikTok. I just told people, oh, go follow me on Instagram. I want to talk to you there.
Yeah, that's an awesome idea. And I think that Instagram, especially like you can have so many more avenues of communication. Like with TikTok, most people are just looking to scroll and forget about you. But with
Yeah.
Instagram, like you tend to see people again and again, and with the DMs as well. Like there's usually more chatting there. So that's awesome.
You have DMs, you have stories. I guess that's it. You can have a channel, which is also really
Hmm.
good. But I think that would be a solution for the problem you just mentioned. But
Hmm.
I will be honest. You mentioned this video that you put text on the screen, and you said that you want to attract the summer girls. I'm not
Hmm.
sure, but I tried this. I tried this exact video with a different text when I was trying to grow my music brand. And it also worked really well. I think it was one of my first videos and it got like 50,000 views
Wow.
and a lot of connections on Instagram. So I think this is the kind of a video that every person can do on every genre. Maybe can you briefly break down what's on this video?
Yeah, so the thing is with this video, so I was trying to attract more of a like personality type, and I unfortunately like didn't connect it to like a genre of music. So I was looking for soft girlies that like cozy hobbies or watching Disney movies. And it attracted a lot of people that had those interests in that personality type, but I didn't mention like any song genre that linked it back to music. So it didn't really connect with my music, unfortunately. But I think if I were to do it again, and I would connect it to a genre of music that perhaps people from that demographic would enjoy, I think it would have been more fruitful with connecting
Yeah,
it to music.
yeah. I think if you wrote in the end something like, also if you like singer songwriter music, you should check out my song or something like that. But the hook, which is great, is basically I want to attract this specific type of people, and then people should just mention what type of people they want to attract. So just think about what is your branding, and of course it all starts with branding. Just think about who is your audience, what are their ages, what are their interests, I guess, and hobbies, or even a story. Like if you want to attract people who just broke up from a partner that they've been together with for like 8 years, you can attract those kind of people, because if your
Hmm.
music is about that, just tell your audience that I want to attract those kind of people, and then you will find those specific people and they will follow you. And then what happens next? That's the next part of the funnel. That's where you need to connect with them. You need to let them know you have a song. And I think it would be a great formula for a long-term relationship with your audience.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. It's very nice to have that connection with them and have common interests.
I want to ask you another question. What type of content performs best for you on TikTok? Do you feel like it's music content, personal content, or something else?
I would say the stuff that perform the best, but once again, perform the best is subjective. Because,
Yeah, you get views, but you don't convert them.
so sorry, views that aren't converted?
Yeah,
Is that your question?
that's no. I
Um,
think that's something that you're getting very often. You get views when you say that you're not sure what it means,
mhm,
like a content that performs well. So I think, okay, we're touching here a very important question of what is a content that performs well, because I think I mentioned it before also in another episode about how easy it is to go viral on TikTok if you really want to. I
mhm,
mean, two ways to go viral if you want. Tomorrow, basically just take another viral video from another account and post it on your profile with your song. That's one way. Another way, just post a video of yourself naked and you go viral. But that's not what you want. So I
no.
always tell in my audience, like, you can go viral if you want, but you don't really want that. So I get why the question is quite confusing.
Well, I guess I'll share maybe videos that helped me build my audience effectively. Would that be what you're looking for more of?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that would be, yeah, that's exactly what people need. They don't need views, they don't need streams.
Hmm.
They need to build, yeah, what helped you? Let's say you released a song. What do you feel like the type of content that helped you the most promote the song and build your audience?
Yeah, I would say truly this, and it's quite simple. It's just finding a story, some sort of relatable story connected to this song that people can relate to. So, for example, a song that I released was called like Little Frog Song, and it's a simple song about wanting to not work anymore and live life as a frog. um, but a lot of people, especially like in the Gen Z age group, we're exhausted. We're so tired of working. And especially like one thing that's trending is like forest fairy cottage core, like being in nature. So one thing that like would do pretty well is like, oh, I wish I could, live my life as a frog and not have to work my 9 to 5 job. And that would, you know, connect with people because they're going through the same thing. And that would engage people. And I think as well, humor is a very important tool.
Mm.
It feels weird to say like, oh yeah, humor is an effective tool, but like it's just, to me, humor is just like a way of life. You have to be funny. You have to laugh at things because sometimes that's all you can do.
Yeah.
But yeah, using relatable stories and humor as a way to deliver your story as well. And I think with TikTok, what's really wonderful is that there's so many ideas on how to deliver a story in a different way. Like there's all these trends that you could, hop on, and that there's always some inspiration. So using trends to deliver your story in a comedic way, I would say is one of the most effective ways to grow your audience.
Mm.
What I would do in the past is if I wanted to film videos, I'd kind of make like a list of what I wanted to film, and the first thing I'd do is like, okay, what's trending this week? Like, what are some trends? What are some sounds that are going viral? How can I use this to deliver, a story in a funny way?
That's a great advice. I talked quite shit about TikTok before, but I guess if you want to make fast content, you can do it on TikTok. And also, I feel like sometimes trends go from TikTok to Instagram. So sometimes you can just take a video that worked well on TikTok and just download it without the watermark and just post it on Instagram as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do like a lot the trends on TikTok. And I enjoyed watching your videos as well. And you were quite consistent until you stopped.
Yeah, I needed a bit of a break, but it was fun. And having that routine was nice at times.
Speaking of change and break, you are coming with a new project in 2026. And basically, one of the reasons I wanted to have this episode with you is that I wanted to share your questions about rebranding and about strategy and content. I wanted you to ask me now some questions, and I could share my answers with the audience, basically, so they can also learn how to start from scratch as a new artist in a new project. So the stage is yours. Now you can ask me the questions, and I will do my best to answer.
Yes, thank you so much. So as someone that's been a little bit out of the music scene, what would you say are some big changes or trends that new musicians or musicians that are starting anew should be aware of and paying attention to in 2026?
New trends. So what I see that works better now is, especially from perspective of managers and labels, they don't care about numbers as much as they did. They don't try to inflate numbers of musicians currently, and I do feel like they appreciate way more the personal connection with their audience. They always cared about personal connection, but now that musicians have so many streams of connecting with their audience, like they can create the Discord communities, they can create the channels on Instagram and even on TikTok. Now there are a new ways to connect with your audience. Then they want to see artists using those ways of connection with your audience. So creating channels on Discord, having a channel on Instagram, using more type of content that connects with your audience, creates more engagement, and not just buying followers and streams, even playlists. Getting your music on playlists, that's something that I highly recommended 2 years ago, but now I recommend much less to use platforms like Submit Hub and Playlist Push is your main strategy. I recommend you build your own playlist and you create your own asset, because basically your own playlist is another channel to connect with your audience. Basically, your audience follows your playlist. They can listen to your music. They listen to music that you like. So having your own assets, that's something that managers, labels, and even the Spotify editors, they care more about. So if I were to start my career again, I would definitely just focus on those. That's basically the bottom of the funnel. Before even people discover you, try to think where they will go after they discover you.
Oh, okay. That's really awesome advice, because I was still thinking about, getting into playlists and pitching on Spotify. And I definitely will still be pitching on Spotify, but it's good to know that that numbers aren't the sole thing that people are paying attention to these days.
No, there is another artist I really like from Chile. Her name is Salares, and she has like 400 monthly listeners, but she performs live every week and she collaborates with big musicians, and you can see that she's doing so much and she's making money from her music, but still she has less than 1,000 monthly listeners. I think maybe today she has maybe 1,500 monthly listeners, but she's a great example of just how much streams and monthly listeners don't matter as much as they did.
Yeah, that's really wonderful. And I'm so glad you brought up that artist, because that's actually more what I'm leaning towards, is performing live and building that community in person, not just focusing solely on the stream. So it's really refreshing to know that, like, that's what artists are also considering too.
Yeah, and in a way, it should be a relief for you. I mean, don't chase numbers anymore.
Yeah, and the thing is, that's what really, I think, burned me out, was chasing the numbers. So I think that starting anew and just focusing on that connection will really help with being consistent and just enjoying the process.
This is what it's all about.
Yeah, and more than streams. That's what we're talking about today. So it's amazing. It's really wonderful. Awesome. Well, thank you for your answer. Okay, my next question, and this is, I would say, it's pretty relevant to the industry right now, or I'm not necessarily industry, but like the what independent musicians are thinking about is, what are your thoughts on AI doing music mastering versus a audio engineer?
Okay, AI in music, that's a big topic. Mastering, I do think every musician should use AI in any way they like, as long as it's still art. So if you don't know how to master music and AI does it well, do it. If you can't play the guitar and AI can do it well, do it. If no one can tell, if you still have your soul in music, then that's all good, if it's still you. And a few months ago, I used to say, yeah, AI is crap. Don't use it. Don't even use it for guitars. Don't even use it for vocals, nothing. But then I slowly realized that basically as a musician, I used to use a lot of samples and presets. And I just realized that it's not that different using even a preset for mastering than using AI for mastering, or even using AI to create a sound for you, or using a preset that is like a sound that someone else made. So I did look for shortcuts as a musician, but I didn't have the name of AI, which I had no problem releasing a song that was made entirely with presets and synths and samples by other artists. I had no problem, and no one had a problem with that. I felt proud of it. And I feel like as long as you don't make your song entirely from AI, or as long as you don't use AI to write lyrics and then you say that you wrote the lyrics, then that's okay, if that
Yeah.
answers your question.
Yeah, that does. I really do appreciate that answer. Thank you. So I just have a few more questions for you. And these are great questions for people that are getting into music or they want to have a fresh start. So my next question is, what are your thoughts on distribution services? So I know one really big one is DistroKid. Another one I've heard of is Lander. Do you think that the distribution service really like impacts how well your music could perform, or if like there's benefits to picking one over the other?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay.
I mean, from my experience, it doesn't really matter. And honestly, I do feel like you really need to specialize and try all of the different platforms. I do hear a lot of different marketers talking about different distributor and stuff, but honestly, many times they get paid or they get commission, so you can't really tell which one is actually recommended. And I don't know about any musician who tried all of them and can tell over the years what really helps them. So I would say personally, I've used DistroKid as a
Hmm.
musician, and no, they don't pay me, though I do have an affiliate link. But I,
Nice.
I have I have used DistroKid, and I'm very happy with the way it works for me. So I would recommend DistroKid just because I had no problems with them. But I yeah, I do feel like each one of them has different advantages and disadvantages. So, what did you use before DistroKid?
Yeah, I used DistroKid before, and I'm currently right now just kind of evaluating other options, not because I dislike DistroKid, but I just want to
Mm.
see what is also available.
I know that they raised their prices last year, so like
Mm,
2025. So maybe there is a platform that is more budget friendly. I don't know. You
hmm
can check. Maybe there is another. I mean, probably there is another platform with the same features that costs less. You just need to find it, and yeah, I guess you need to do the research and find what works for you, basically.
Yeah, yeah. Well, awesome. Thank you for answering that question, because I know for a new artist, like picking a distribution service can be very stressful, but it's good to know that, you'll probably be fine whatever you pick. So
Yeah,
that's good to
yeah.
know.
Unless you pick something that is really, really low cost, and I don't recommend that.
Yeah. You want to make sure you're using something that has a good reputation, and not going too low in price.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think I have one more question. I'm debating between two questions. And I feel like
You
for one I sort of know the answer for, but hmm.
if you want, you can challenge me and tell me to answer a question in under 1 minute, and I can try
Okay.
to do that. I did it
Sure.
before once to one of the guests, and I want to see if I should also get punished, and I want to see how it feels like. So, yeah,
Okay, let's give it a try. Okay, so in 1 minute,
do
can
it.
you tell me how effective ad campaigns are in promoting songs?
Oh, ads are probably the number one way to promote your music if you have the budget,
Hmm.
because basically when you run ads you can choose your audience, which is something that you can't do when you use social media. You can't really tell the algorithm, I want to show my content to 30 to 40 years old women from California who like dogs and who go to the gym every Saturday. You can't tell that to the algorithm, and you will never find these kind of people. But with ads you can find them, and it's only a few clicks to find them. So
Hmm.
basically, you make the song, you make a good creative, and when I say creative, I mean it's a video that will
Hmm.
be shown to people. So if you have a video that already went viral, then you can use that as your creative, and you can choose exactly who is going to see that video.
Hmm.
And Yeah, basically, if you have the budget and it doesn't cost too much if you know how to use it. I've seen results that were like 5 cents per conversion per save. So
Hmm.
you can find your audience and you will spend the money and you don't need to create content, just need to create one good video. And that's it, which is why I like ads so much.
That's really awesome to hear because I've never used ads, but I definitely see the value in it, and I feel like that could kind of take some stress off of like always making content because that can be, very stressful to always be looking for something. So I think that this time around it is a strategy I will be keeping in my toolkit.
Yeah, I mean, it does only take a few days to learn how to run ads, and it's completely
Awesome.
worth it.
Yeah, awesome. That's such a great answer. Thank you so much. And I think it was under a minute, so good job.
I did
You did it.
it.
Um, I think I don't have a fully formed question, so I think that's the end of my questions for now. Um,
For now. Okay.
yeah, I might message you randomly and be like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" But I think you've answered a lot of the questions that I've been really curious about, especially somebody that's getting back into the game. Um, so thank you so much. This has been very helpful and helped reduce my worries and concerns with going back into a scene that might be different than what it was before. So thank you very much.
Of course. And also, it's very fun to be someone who has been interviewed. Is there a name for someone who has been interviewed? Interviewee?
Yeah, I think that would be it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's fun. It's nice answering questions for once. And, I feel like sometimes when I interview people, the hardest part is not coming up with the questions, is what to say after they talked for like 5 minutes. And like
Mm,
they said so many things, and then I need to comment, right?
hmm.
But just like, so like they speak, and then like the last 30 seconds, I'm like, okay, what should I say? It doesn't come
Yeah.
naturally. Um, and it's nice to be on the other side for once.
Yeah. You
So
need a break. You've been doing too many interviews. You need to have a chance to be in the spotlight and share your industry knowledge.
thank you for that. And now I will take the interviewer stick from you and I
Hmm.
will hold it and I will thank you
Thank
for
you.
being a great interviewee, giving the listeners some great nuggets and some ideas about content. We talked about branding, we talked about TikTok here. And yeah, you've been making great content on TikTok and your branding is really on point. So I'm super excited to see your new project in 2026. And yeah, your audience should also very much check your content and get inspired and maybe just like I did, copy your ideas and apply them to themselves because I think you're super creative and you are really good at connecting with people. So if someone wants to find you, how can they find you?
Yes. So I am launching as Stella Sky, and you can find me. I am on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at Stella Sky Music. And please follow me there. I'm going to be posting a lot of wonderful new songs that are jazz pop themed. And I look forward to getting to know you, talking with you, and having a wonderful time together.
Yes, you guys go check her out, and she's very responsive, and she will be your internet friend.
Yes,
And I
lots
will
of fun
also
things.
a lot of fun things. I will leave a link in the description of the video as well for people so they can check you out and send you messages and comments and also copy your content. Thank you so much for participating in this episode and sharing all of the great ideas and questions with us. So have a rest of good day. I will have a good
Yes,
night and
yes.
speak to you
And
soon.
Happy New Year.
Oh,
Have a
true.
wonderful New Year.
Oh, in 10 minutes, it's going to be the last day of the year
Oh
for
my
me.
gosh. Okay, well, I hope you enjoy those last 10 minutes
No, it's not gonna be the next year. It's gonna be the last day of the year.
Oh, last day of the year. Oh my gosh.
No, don't worry. I'm not spending New Year's here.
Yeah,
with my
yeah.
partner.
You have more fun. Don't spend it talking to me. Okay.
No,
Well,
it's fun.
enjoy, and see you next year. All the best.
See you next year. Ciao.
Bye bye. Take care.